Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to explore a powerful concept. God hides you for a reason. This idea speaks to the times in our lives when we feel unseen, overlooked, or forgotten. Yet those moments are not signs of abandonment, but a preparation. Imagine a seed buried deep in the soil. To the untrained eye, it might seem hidden, forgotten, or even lost. But in truth, it is in the darkness where the seed undergoes the transformation necessary for its growth. The soil protects it from the harshness of the elements, provides nourishment, and allows its roots to form strong foundations. In much the same way, there are times in our lives when we may feel hidden, as though our potential is buried and our purpose has been delayed. But could it be that God is preparing you for something greater? Could it be that the isolation is actually insulation, keeping you safe while you grow? Being hidden is an essential part of preparation, much like the process a seed undergoes when it is buried in soil. At first glance, it may seem as though nothing is happening. The seed is out of sight, buried beneath the surface, and unable to display its potential to the world. But the truth is that the most critical transformations occur in this hidden state. Within the soil, the seed begins to germinate, breaking open to release new life. This process cannot be rushed, nor can it be accomplished in plain view. It requires a specific environment, one of darkness, stillness, and nourishment to enable the seed to develop its roots. Similarly, in life, moments of hiddenness are often the spaces where profound growth takes place. During these seasons, we are removed from the spotlight and given the opportunity to develop the qualities and skills necessary for the journey ahead. These are the times when our character is refined, when we learn perseverance, patience, and resilience. The hidden seasons are not wasted. They are where the groundwork for future success is laid. Without this foundational preparation, we may lack the stability and strength needed to handle the weight of our purpose when it is revealed. God uses hidden moments to shape us in ways that are not immediately visible but are crucial for our destiny. Just as a sculptor works in quiet focus to chisel a masterpiece, God uses these times to mold us, smoothing out our rough edges and equipping us with tools we may not even realize we need. These moments of quiet preparation ensure that we are ready to rise when the time comes. However, being hidden can feel frustrating or discouraging. It's natural to long for recognition or for the opportunity to step into the fullness of our calling. But it's important to trust that there is purpose in the process. A premature emergence, like removing a seed from the soil too soon, can hinder the full potential of what is meant to grow. God understands the timing and the conditions required for us to thrive. He doesn't hide us to punish us or hold us back, but to prepare us for what's to come. The hidden phase also allows us to deepen our connection with God. It's in these quiet moments, free from external distractions, that we can hear His voice more clearly and learn to rely on Him fully. This reliance strengthens our faith, anchoring us in a relationship that will sustain us through the challenges of our journey. When the time comes to step into the light, we will not only be equipped for the task, but also deeply rooted in trust and dependence on God's guidance. Preparation in secrecy is a gift, even if it doesn't always feel like it. It's a sacred space where transformation happens, unseen by the world, but fully orchestrated by God. Just as a seed eventually breaks through the soil to become a flourishing plant, our hidden seasons are not the end, but the beginning of something extraordinary. Trust the process, for the time spent in the soil is what ensures the beauty of the bloom. Being hidden often serves as an act of divine protection, shielding us from premature exposure to situations, opportunities, or challenges that we are not yet ready to face. While we may sometimes feel overlooked or sidelined, these moments of hiddenness are purposeful and intentional. They are designed by God to safeguard us from unnecessary harm, mistakes, or pressures that could derail our growth and ultimate purpose. Consider a young tree planted in an environment with harsh winds and storms. Before it grows strong enough to stand on its own, it requires protection. This may come in the form of a covering or being planted in a sheltered location, allowing its roots to grow deep and its trunk to thicken. Similarly, God often hides us to keep us safe from the external forces that could damage our growth if we were exposed too soon. Premature exposure can be harmful because it often places us in situations we are not yet equipped to handle. Imagine being given a heavy responsibility, opportunity, or role before having the necessary skills, wisdom, or character to carry it well. The pressure of the spotlight, the weight of expectations, or the scrutiny of others can lead to burnout or failure if we are not adequately prepared. By keeping us hidden, God ensures that we are not thrust into environments that could overwhelm or harm us before we are ready. Hiddenness also serves as a barrier against the influence of distractions and negativity. In a world where success is often equated with visibility and recognition, it's easy to be swayed by the opinions of others or to lose focus on what truly matters. Being hidden allows us to grow in a protected space, away from the noise of external validation or criticism. This quiet time enables us to focus on what God is doing within us rather than seeking approval or accolades from the outside world. Furthermore, hidden seasons protect us from people or situations that may not have our best interests at heart. Just as a young plant is vulnerable to pests or harmful conditions, we too are susceptible to influences that can stunt our growth. God's hiding often keeps us out of reach of toxic relationships, unhealthy environments, or premature opportunities that might seem appealing but could ultimately hinder our development. Another important aspect of hiddenness is that it gives us time to strengthen our inner self. Much like the armor of a warrior is tested and refined before battle, our character, faith, and resilience are fortified in hidden seasons. These periods of protection ensure that when we do step into the challenges and opportunities ahead, we are prepared not only to succeed, but to sustain our success with integrity and grace. While it can be challenging to embrace a season of hiddenness, understanding its purpose can bring peace and reassurance. It is a reflection of God's love and care, ensuring that we are not exposed to situations that could harm us or diminish the potential He has placed within us. Rather than seeing hiddenness as rejection or delay, we can view it as a shelter, a place where we are held and protected as we grow. Ultimately, God's timing is perfect. When the moment comes for us to step into visibility, it will be at the right time, in the right place, and with the right preparation. Until then, the hiddenness serves as a shield, a cocoon where transformation occurs safely and securely. Trusting in God's protection allows us to rest in the knowledge that every moment, even the hidden ones, is part of His divine plan for our lives. Maturity takes time, and one of the reasons God hides us is to allow that maturity to develop fully. It's in the hidden seasons of life that we are given the space and time to grow emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. These periods are essential because stepping into responsibilities or roles before we are mature enough to handle them can lead to unnecessary struggles or even failure. Maturity is not just about gaining knowledge or skills, but about developing the wisdom, patience, and humility required to navigate the complexities of life and purpose. When we are hidden, it can feel like we are stuck or that our progress has been paused. However, what often appears as stagnation is actually God's way of nurturing us in ways that cannot happen in the spotlight. Think of a fruit tree. Before it bears fruit, it goes through a long process of growth. The roots need to deepen, the branches need to strengthen, and the tree needs to be able to withstand the weight of the fruit it will eventually carry. If the tree is forced to bear fruit prematurely, it may not survive the strain. Similarly, God allows us to remain in hidden seasons to ensure that we develop the capacity to sustain what He has planned for us. Emotional maturity is one of the key areas that hiddenness cultivates. Life's demands can be overwhelming if we have not learned how to manage emotions such as fear, anger, and pride. Hidden seasons often bring challenges and opportunities for introspection, teaching us to respond to adversity with grace rather than reacting impulsively. These lessons shape us into individuals who can remain steady under pressure, empathetic in relationships, and grounded in purpose. Spiritual maturity also takes root in hiddenness. It's in these times that we learn to trust God deeply, even when we cannot see the bigger picture. Faith is not built on the mountaintops, but in the valleys where we rely on God to guide us through uncertainty. Hidden seasons teach us to seek Him not for what He can give us, but for who He is. This dependence fosters a relationship with God that becomes the foundation for our lives and our calling. Mental maturity is another area where hidden seasons are invaluable. During these times, we are often pushed to develop discipline, focus, and resilience. We learn the importance of perseverance and of staying committed to our goals, even when progress seems slow or invisible. These lessons prepare us for the challenges of the future, ensuring that we approach our purpose with clarity and strength. Hidden seasons also give us the humility that comes with understanding the value of timing. When we recognize that we are not in control of the process, we learn to submit to God's timing and His plan. Humility is essential for maturity because it keeps us teachable, open to correction, and willing to grow. Without humility, we risk becoming arrogant or self-reliant, which can lead to missteps when we finally step into visibility. Another significant aspect of maturity gained in hiddenness is the ability to handle success with integrity. Many people falter not because they fail, but because they succeed before they are ready. Success can be a heavy burden, and if we lack the maturity to manage it wisely, it can lead to pride, complacency, or even destruction. Hidden seasons prepare us to handle success with gratitude and a sense of responsibility, ensuring that we remain focused on the purpose behind the blessings we receive. While hidden seasons may feel like a delay, they are actually a gift. They provide the space needed for us to grow into the person God has called us to be. They teach us the value of patience, the importance of preparation, and the beauty of trusting in God's perfect timing. Maturity cannot be rushed, but when it is fully developed, it equips us to step into our purpose with confidence, wisdom, and strength. A strong foundation is crucial for any lasting success, and one of the reasons God hides us is to allow us the time and space to build that foundation. Just as a structure requires a solid base to withstand weight and external forces, our lives and purposes need deep, unshakable roots to sustain the challenges and opportunities that come with growth and visibility. This foundational work is often done in hiddenness, away from the eyes of others, where we can focus on developing the core aspects of our character, skills, and faith. Imagine the construction of a skyscraper. Before the impressive structure rises above the skyline, countless hours are spent digging deep into the ground, creating a foundation that can support the building's height and withstand storms, earthquakes, and other external pressures. The deeper and stronger the foundation, the taller and more resilient the building can be. In the same way, God uses hidden seasons to strengthen our inner foundation, ensuring that when we step into the spotlight, we are prepared to handle both the weight of responsibility and the inevitable challenges that come with it. Finally, hiddenness allows us to gain clarity about our identity and calling. It's easy to be swayed by the opinions and expectations of others when we are in the public eye, but hidden seasons give us the space to discover who we are and what God has uniquely created us to do. This clarity becomes a firm foundation that guides our decisions and keeps us focused on our true purpose. One of the greatest distractions in today's world is the constant barrage of external opinions, judgments, and pressures. Invisibility allows us to detach from the need for external validation and the temptation to seek approval from others. When we are hidden, we are freed from the comparison trap that so often leads to frustration, self-doubt, and discontentment. Without the immediate need to measure up to others, we can focus on our own growth, embracing the unique path that God has set before us. These seasons of privacy are sacred moments in which we can focus on our own journey rather than constantly comparing ourselves to the successes or failures of those around us. Furthermore, hidden seasons provide the time and space to develop the deep inner resources we need for the future. Without the distractions of external expectations or pressures, we can immerse ourselves in the work of self-development. This includes refining our skills, deepening our understanding of our purpose, and nurturing our relationship with God. Distractions often pull us in different directions, leaving us scattered and uncentered, but in times of hiddenness, God helps us recalibrate, reconnect, and refocus on the things that will sustain us in the long term. These moments offer a chance to evaluate our goals, clarify our vision, and ensure that our actions align with the calling that God has placed on our lives. Hiddenness also provides protection from the dangers of ambition unchecked by wisdom. It is easy to be swept away by the pursuit of success or the desire to be seen, especially when others seem to be moving ahead. The distractions of ambition can lead us to make hasty decisions or take shortcuts that may ultimately undermine our long-term success. When we are hidden, we are protected from the pressure to rush, and we can focus on building a solid foundation that will last. During these times, God refines our hearts, teaching us the importance of patience, discernment, and trust in His perfect timing. Without the noise of external competition or the rush to prove ourselves, we can develop the wisdom to navigate the challenges that come with visibility and success. Another important aspect of hiddenness is that it allows us to fully embrace and understand the value of our relationship with God. When we are hidden, we are less likely to be distracted by the desire for fame, recognition, or worldly rewards. Instead, we learn to seek God not for what He can give us, but for who He is. These seasons help us build an authentic relationship with Him, one that is grounded in trust, love, and faith. Without the distractions of external success or praise, we can learn to hear His voice more clearly and understand His guidance in our lives. It's in these quiet, often unseen moments that we can experience the richness of God's presence, which will carry us through the challenges of the future. Additionally, hiddenness offers us the chance to focus on relationships that truly matter. In times of public visibility, we can often be overwhelmed by the demands of people who may not have our best interests at heart. Hiddenness allows us to prioritize the relationships that are most important, focusing on quality rather than quantity. This time of focus enables us to strengthen our bonds with family, friends, mentors, and others who are part of our support system. We can invest time in nurturing deep, meaningful relationships that will endure when we eventually step into the public eye. Lastly, being hidden helps us to evaluate and remove distractions that may be hindering our progress. In a time of visibility, it can be difficult to discern what is truly helping us grow and what is merely diverting our attention. Hiddenness gives us the opportunity to strip away the unnecessary clutter, whether it's negative influences, bad habits, or unhealthy mindsets, and focus solely on what will help us fulfill our calling. During these times, we are called to simplify our lives, prioritize what truly matters, and prepare ourselves for the bigger purpose that God has in store for us. In essence, God hides us during seasons of life to protect us from distractions that could lead us away from our true purpose. These hidden times give us the gift of clarity and focus, allowing us to develop the inner strength, wisdom, and relationship with God that will sustain us when the time comes for us to step into the fullness of our calling. Distractions will always be a part of life, but in hiddenness, we are given the precious opportunity to silence the noise and focus on what truly matters. God's timing is a powerful and intricate aspect of His divine plan for our lives, and the hidden seasons He places us in are a testament to this perfect timing. When we feel unseen or unnoticed, it can be difficult to understand why things are not unfolding as we hoped or envisioned. Yet God's timing is never random or accidental. It is purposeful and intentional, ensuring that every moment of our lives aligns with the greater plan He has for us. The waiting periods, often marked by hiddenness, are not signs of rejection or denial, but rather they serve to position us for a time when we are fully prepared to step into the roles, responsibilities, and opportunities that await us. During the hidden seasons, it can be tempting to doubt whether anything is happening at all. We may wonder if the time of waiting is simply a delay in our progress. However, this period of waiting is part of the process of preparation. Just as a seed must remain hidden in the soil for a certain period before it can sprout and grow into a flourishing plant, so too must we remain in hiddenness to grow and mature in ways that are essential for the next stage of our lives. The growth that happens in hiddenness is not visible to others, but it is incredibly significant. God uses these seasons to build our character, deepen our faith, and equip us with the wisdom and strength necessary for the tasks ahead. The truth is that if we were thrust into a role or opportunity before we were truly ready, we would not be able to handle it effectively. Success, visibility, and responsibility are not merely about talent or ambition. They require maturity, stability, and wisdom. When we rush ahead of God's timing, we risk burnout, failure, or even harm. God, in His loving wisdom, allows us to remain hidden for as long as necessary to prepare us for what lies ahead. This ensures that when the time does come for us to step into the light, we will have the strength, resilience, and faith to sustain the work He has called us to do. It is also in these hidden seasons that God shapes and refines our desires. Often we may think we know what we want or when we want it, but God's timing ensures that our desires align with His will. In our hiddenness, He helps us sift through our ambitions, correcting any misplaced desires and aligning our hearts with His greater purpose. This refining process helps us avoid seeking things for the wrong reasons, such as seeking fame for personal validation or desiring success for selfish gain. God's timing ensures that when we are ready for visibility, our hearts will be in the right place, and we will use the opportunities He gives us to glorify Him and serve others. Furthermore, God's timing reveals His sovereignty and perfect wisdom. We often try to rush things, believing that we know the best time for something to happen, but God sees the bigger picture. What seems like a delay or setback to us is often a strategic pause in His greater plan. While we are focused on the present moment, God is orchestrating events in the background, aligning people, circumstances, and opportunities to unfold at the perfect time. Our hidden season is often a time of waiting for everything to fall into place so that when we step forward, everything is ready for us to move into our next phase. God's timing is also a reminder that we are not in control. We are invited to surrender to His plan and trust that He knows what is best for us. This surrender requires patience and faith, as it often means waiting for things to unfold when we cannot yet see the outcome. The hidden season may challenge our desire for immediate gratification, teaching us to trust that God's timing is better than our own and that His delay is not a denial. This trust in God's timing helps us let go of the pressure to control every aspect of our lives and encourages us to live in faith, knowing that when the time is right, God will bring everything to fruition. In the same way the well-timed harvest yields the best fruit, God's perfect timing ensures that when we emerge from our hidden season, we are fully prepared and equipped to step into the fullness of our purpose. What may feel like a season of stagnation or frustration is actually a time of divine alignment where God is preparing us for something greater than we could ever imagine. His timing is always perfect, and it will never fail to reveal His plan for our lives when the time is right. Therefore, while we wait, we are invited to trust that God's timing is not only for our good, but for the greater good of those we are meant to impact. The concept of preparation is integral to understanding why God sometimes hides us for a season. In our lives, preparation is often seen as the behind-the-scenes work that sets the stage for greater opportunities, but it is just as essential as the moments when we step into the spotlight. God hides us to allow time for thorough preparation, ensuring that when the time comes for us to emerge into visibility, we are fully equipped for the challenges and responsibilities ahead. This period of preparation is not just about gaining external skills or knowledge, but about developing the internal strength, character, and wisdom needed to fulfill our calling in a sustainable and meaningful way. Consider the example of an athlete who spends years training before competing at the highest levels. The hours spent in the gym practicing routines, building endurance, and refining techniques are all hidden from the public eye. These moments of solitary work may seem insignificant at the time, but they are the key to the athlete's eventual success. Without this preparation, the athlete would not have the resilience, discipline, or capability to perform under pressure when the competition arrives. Similarly, God uses hidden seasons to help us develop the inner resources and preparation needed to thrive in the roles He has set for us. These periods of obscurity are where we build the skills, knowledge, and habits that will ensure our success when we are called to stand in the spotlight. Preparation during hiddenness also involves cultivating spiritual growth. Often we may feel that we are being overlooked or ignored, but in reality, these seasons provide the opportunity to deepen our relationship with God. It's in the quiet moments away from public attention that we can develop a stronger understanding of who God is and learn to hear His voice more clearly. This intimate time with God strengthens our faith, sharpens our discernment, and helps us develop a deeper sense of purpose. It is in this preparation phase that we learn to trust God fully, not just when things are going well, but also during times of uncertainty or waiting. The internal preparation that takes place during hiddenness also includes building emotional resilience. Life can be unpredictable, and stepping into new opportunities often comes with pressure, expectations, and challenges. During the hidden season, God equips us to handle these emotional challenges with grace and composure. We learn how to deal with setbacks, overcome disappointments, and manage our emotions in healthy ways. This emotional maturity helps us respond to difficulties with wisdom and patience, rather than being overwhelmed by stress or anxiety. It's in the hidden seasons that we are often taught how to handle our feelings and reactions, preparing us for the emotional demands of success and leadership. Moreover, hiddenness allows for the cultivation of patience, a crucial aspect of preparation. In a world that values instant gratification and rapid success, it can be difficult to understand why we must wait for things to unfold. Yet patience is essential for long-term success. Rushing ahead before we are fully prepared can lead to burnout or missteps. By being hidden, God teaches us that His plan unfolds in its perfect time, and that waiting is a part of the preparation process. This patience strengthens our ability to persevere through challenges and delays, knowing that God's timing is always better than our own. Another important aspect of preparation during hiddenness is the development of a servant heart. Often God hides us so that we can learn to serve others without seeking recognition or reward. These quiet seasons teach us the value of humility and selflessness, qualities that are essential for effective leadership and success. When we are not yet visible, we can focus on serving in small, unseen ways, learning the joy and fulfillment that comes from helping others without the need for external acknowledgement. This preparation builds character and ensures that when we are called to lead or take on greater responsibilities, we do so with a heart of service rather than seeking power or prestige. These periods of obscurity are not signs of failure or abandonment, but divine opportunities for us to develop the internal strength, wisdom, and character needed to fulfill our true purpose. Just as a seed must remain in the soil before it can sprout and bear fruit, we too must be nurtured and prepared before we can step into the visibility and responsibility that God has in store for us. When the time is right and God's perfect timing unfolds, we will be equipped and ready to take on the roles and challenges that await us with confidence, grace, and clarity. Hiddenness, therefore, is not a setback, but a critical stage in the journey toward fulfilling God's calling for our lives. Trusting in this process allows us to rest in the assurance that God's timing, preparation, and plan are always for our good and for His glory.